Just win, baby.
Oh man, how did this happen? It's just everybody. What are we? What? I guess that's it. What's going on, everybody? I know who it is, man. It's your boy ROB Raider Rob. You now tuned into that channel. That's right, Raider Nation Central, where we talk about the thing, all things Raiders. All right. Hey, appreciate you guys for coming with me today, stopping by, checking out the channel. Got a few things to unpack in today's episode. All right, so sit tight. Going to be going through a few things, get my opinion on some insights, some things, see where we go from here, and yeah, man, let's just get started right into it. Davante Adams requested a trade, right? So all you guys that know, Davante Adams yesterday requested a trade. Reports came out that there was an issue, which I don't know if everybody is really looking at is that such of him requesting trade because of a like of a post. I don't believe that. I believe there's a lot more that's going on with this, and do what I have to think about what Davante Adams is thinking right now. And I can't say I know exactly what he's thinking, but you know, I can understand if there is frustration, why he has that frustration. So let's unpack this and start off with the interview that kind of everyone is referring to, and that is Kay Adams' Up and Adams show, where she spoke with Davante. And one thing I want you guys to really look at is, first off, the start of the episode where she talks about what he's wearing, and then kind of goes into lightly about the situation of the um, regarding the tweet that was out about Davante possibly playing his last game as a Raider, right? So let's pull this up, kind of unpack it, and see where we go from there. All right, check this out.
It was just in the front of the closet. I was supporting on Saturday, so I ran it back. It's a nice look. They want Adidas now, so I got to wear all the vintage stuff.
I love it. We're seeing a different part of your house, a little more of Davante Adams. We didn't see you on the field, which is rare. I feel like you always play in every game. It's super rare. How are you feeling?
Getting better every day. It's something that is very cliche, but it's something that we just got to take week to week at this point. I'm feeling much better than I was even on game day. So we trending in the right direction.
What happened?
Just felt a little weird on the hammies in on the Thursday practice last week, and obviously haven't missed a game in a while. So it was a very unfamiliar feeling having to watch the guys from the sideline, other than preseason. So wasn't a fan of that, but I'm looking forward to getting back on the field.
I'd like to know what that was like, because you haven't missed a game since 2021. You're one of the most durable players out there. You're having to be on the sideline. What was going through your head? What was that experience?
It sucked. There's nothing worse than being a player that a team relies on and counts on, and then you feeling helpless because you can't really do anything. Being on the sideline and watching and supporting. I try to give all the support and guidance to the young guys as much as I can, but you start to miss it while you're out there. So definitely looking forward to getting back out there.
Now you're saying that. Are you playing this week? You got the Broncos division rivalry.
Not sure yet. We're doing everything we can to get back on the field, and honestly, I don't know. So I'm trying to get healthy and do everything that I can and to stay on top of that, because the worst thing that you could do, especially with a situation like a hammy, is try to force it, get out there, and then do long-term damage because you were trying to be greedy and not understand the process. So not fun at all not being out there, but I think my teammates will appreciate it more for the long run.
You and Max were out there. Did you have any takeaways? First question is, how soon did you hear from Coach?
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. So I haven't I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously I got, social media is a beast, so it's a lot of people out there that saw it and wondering what's going on and people reaching out, and I haven't spoke to him.
Well, I'm surprised by that. I would think that's okay. Well, I would think I mean, you work together every day. So if that, I would say,
Right.
oh, shoot, I accidentally hit that. I unliked it. Now it's this
Yeah.
huge story. Is that just kind of like what the dynamic is? That's not something that you want to hear from
Honestly, it's hard to comment on, and
him?
I'm
Okay.
sure you would imagine as such. But it's one of those situations where I just keep my head down and keep doing my thing, and let the chips fall where they may, as it pertains to that. But I haven't. There's been no communication with anybody from the team since that became a thing. But it's kind of just like the weekly
Yeah.
"What's up with Tay" thing. It's always some sort of drama, but at the end of the day, 1-7 doesn't create any of it. So people can say what they want, but I'm just chilling, trying to be the model for not stirring the pot and just locking in and doing what I got to do.
I know what you're doing. You've said it many times. You are focused. You want to be out there. You talk about being a Raider. You talk about your decision to all of these things. And then, but it's not about you. It's almost like this other narrative. So it's like one of those things where, do you believe where there's smoke, there's fire? Because it seems like there's something going on here. How much do you think, and how much does it bother you when you keep hearing these trade things? Because I would be paranoid.
Yeah, it gets annoying for sure, but it's I'm one of those players that people like to talk about one way or the other. So thank God that He blessed me with the ability to just focus in on what I need to focus in on and not get sidetracked by any of the outside noise. So if you know better than anybody, we've talked about this
Mm-hmm.
many times, and I feel like that's why you have respect for me. If I was the type of guy that let certain things that people say on the outside get to me, then I wouldn't be in the position that I am now. And I've had some ups and downs in the league, and through it all, I just try to stay like this and do my part in that. So whatever else happens, what people are talking about, what people are
Mm-hmm.
tweeting, liking, whatever it is, I can't do anything about that. So I just focus
All
on.
right, we're gonna stop it right there. That was pretty much a good soundbite. Shout out to them for that soundbite. Um, so to unpack what he talked about there, he brought up the situation with, uh, as you can see, she asked about the Fresno State. He said he pulled out the closet showing support. Yeah, okay. Um, could be nothing there. Could be not. Me, I kind of think there was a little something there. Two, also brought up the fact about the hamstring. He said it felt a little funny, you know, and just kind of weird. He didn't say, "Oh, I was running and did a cut or something like that." Wasn't really speaking on the totality of how he injured his hamstring. That was one thing. Also, too, about the picture being liked, the comment being liked, and him not having any conversation with his head coach doesn't mean he didn't have conversation with front office organization. He did make the comment that he hadn't spoken with Pierce, right? And last but not least, the understanding of hearing the trade rumors. And he says there's always something with Tay, but I stay like this, right? I mean, I'm going through the motions. Okay. To unpack that, just to let you guys know, I think wholeheartedly that Davante Adams knew probably this season he was probably getting up out of here. This was not anything that was new. And is he unhappy? No. Is he looking for a better opportunity to maximize what he's doing? Yes. And that's him playing with a team that's in the high, they're basically ready to win like right now. Okay. They're ready to win within the next year or two. Okay. And I think Tay realized after the debacle of how it was when he first got here, matching up with Carr, they shipping Carr off, and then bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo, and they just having a dumpster fire season. But then was able to salvage it by hiring a Pierce. Pierce helping kind of revive the Raiders' passion and finishing the season strong. That was one of the things I think Davante Adams wanted to uh, do for the team, but also know you're not really going to be doing that for too long because man, you play this game because you want to win. Money is good, and I believe too being paid handsomely as well. But he wants to win, right? He wants to be able to have a stand as far as playing in the NFL, playing at a high level, and winning football games. Right now, I can honestly say, looking at it, that Davante Adams is still loving to play football. I believe he still wants to be a Raider. Like, mind you, the guy grew up saying, I grew up a Raiders fan. You know, he's from Cali. And, you know, playing for the Raiders was probably something that, you know, was in the back of his mind maybe at some point, and given the opportunity that presented him, he was going to seize that opportunity. Things have changed, you know. And if you all know, you should know that the Raiders had tried multiple opportunities to try to bring in a quarterback, man. I mean, from CJ Stroud to the point of trying to get Justin Fields, to the point of trying to jump up and get Jalen Daniels, to even just maybe probably trying to pick one in the 13th pick, and none of that happened. So at that point, it's kind of like, what do you do as an organization? Because, like I said, I believe that Davante's agent directly has been in contact with them. Like, hey, look, maybe Davante's looking like, hey, man, what are you guys doing as far as a quarterback? Like, Tays want to know. And if you guys aren't going to be able to bring nobody in here, you know, maybe you should try and get compensation. And Tom Pelesco, mind you, did not bring in Tay. Although I believe Tom Pelesco, Tom Telesco will pay a wide receiver. He's seen that done with the Chargers. He will pay him. But he also, too, is a realist, as well as knowing, like, all right, you know, let's try to get compensation for you at some point and see what we can do. So I think that all in all, they are going to look at this as if Davante is just super unhappy. I think he's just saying, like, look, man, I know the business. This is the entertainment. This is what people in the media like to see. And there's come out reports from people like, you know, like Deshaun Jackson, when he first came out, said Tay wasn't happy. And then Tay said, I ain't talked to that guy. And then Deshaun went back and said, oh, yeah, I was just speculating on TV. And then Deshaun Jackson comes back and says, see, I told y'all, you know, I know receivers. I don't really care about Deshaun Jackson as a player. I don't even care about him as a so-called journalist or whatever he wants to call himself. And Deshaun Jackson says he knows when wide receivers are unhappy. You know, I have my own take about Deshaun Jackson. I'll let that be. You know, I'm not here to bash anybody that played in the NFL. He played at a very high level, but his opinion doesn't matter to me regarding what he thinks other men think. You know, I don't know what he thinks. How would he know exactly what Tay is thinking unless Tay directly told him? So I will say this moving forward is that the organization is looking to make a change and try to build. And Davante Adams, they want Davante Adams to be a part of that, but they also know that they're going to want guys that maybe they can kind of build with long term. And they know with Tay, he's gonna be hitting their pockets here the next couple of years, man. And there's an opportunity for him to possibly move up to another, I guess, like a move him to another team. Primarily, people are thinking the Jets, some are thinking Baltimore, some thinking Buffalo, some thinking the Chiefs. And I do think that they'll be having a cap hit. Um, the Raiders will be, I think, parting ways with Davante. I think they're gonna get hit with maybe like 15 million. Don't quote me on the actual amount, but I do know that Tay's ability will be wanted by an NFL team. Reports are coming out that the Raiders are seeking a second round pick and other compensation. So that just tells me partially that they are trying to move him, because they're not even asking for a first round pick, right? It's not going to be like a Tyreek Raiders fans. It's not going to be like a Tyreek Hall where you're going to get like 5 picks. You might get second round pick and a couple other players maybe that can add to the organization. Antonio Pierce and them guys, I don't think there's a rift between them two. I think people saying him and Antonio Pierce ain't on the same page. It's not about them being on the same page. Davante Adams primarily doesn't run the Raiders. Okay. Antonio Pierce doesn't run the Raiders. Antonio Pierce coaches the Raiders. Davante Adams is a player on the Raiders. Davante Adams has no say-so in a daily business or how the Raiders do business. Okay. Like Davante said, I worry about me. Okay. And that's fine. So I think that we have to go in there and look at that just as that in the totality of it is that he is going to get moved probably sooner than later. I'll be really shocked if he's even on, if he, I doubt he's going to be traveling with the team, even if he's not traded uh, to Denver. I think that they're going to probably end up ruling him out. I don't even know if he's practicing today, to be honest. Uh, Maybe he's getting treatment, So, all in all, man, that's just one thing that the Raiders are going to have to kind of move on from him. To me, it's no hard feelings. I wish Davante Adams the best. In my opinion, I think the Raiders did not do right by him, the organization, because he came in on the premise of playing with Carr. They shipped Carr. They did not secure a franchise QB. And quarterbacks are needed for wide receivers, man. If you don't think so, look at some of the quarterbacks that have been playing in the NFL this year, and you look at the ones that are shocking you, and you look at some that's just like not playing well because their franchise quarterback is hurt. It's the way of the world. So Davante really is making the right decision for him requesting the trade and not just prolonging the inevitable anyway. I think the Raiders were going to try and figure out some way to either have him restructure his contract or maybe just cut him in general and let him go somewhere else. Trading him, a team is probably still going to have to re-sign him. And we'll find out more of that information later this week. If I had to guess where I think he would go, um, Jets sound like the obvious choice. Kansas City. Kansas City is not a team that I think the Raiders would even consider trading him to. That's just unless Kansas City's willing to give up a lot. And in a lot, and I think that the Raiders look at Kansas City's roster, and there's nobody right now I think they'll be willing to pick up and trade for Davante Adams that they would think would be efficient. And just to have Davante come and playing against you in the same year you trade him, I don't see the Raiders doing that. Other things could be possible, but I will say that the Jets thing has been rumbling for a while. The Jets could probably make the move. They could probably get rid of a wide receiver, maybe a defensive player, maybe an offensive lineman. It's plenty of other scenarios that could happen. And that second round pick is something that like I said, I looked at that. I was like, well, for the Raiders, this is something they can get. They may could get multiple picks. They probably get a second and a third. Who knows? And then get one player. There's a lot of packages that could come out, and we're going to find more of that out as the week kind of progresses. So Davante Adams, man, if there's anything I could say is that he's a hell of a player. He just keeps his head down. He works. He doesn't really stir a lot of noise. I know there's been a lot of noise this year because he actually put himself out there and put himself on TV for the masses to just now be so into his life, and that's just a part of the game. I think he knows that that's a part of the game, and he's just dealing with it. So all in all, man, I just wish him the best. I think Davante is a hell of a player. I think that there's no hard feelings. Like I said, as a Raider fan, I understand that also this is also a human being. I also understand the fact that he is somebody that wants to win now. And like that's what he wants to be consistently making playoffs. He wants to consistently be in the playoffs to fight for a championship. And if you're still in building because you still have to find your franchise quarterback, yeah, you could win some games. You might get into the playoffs, but substantially, he's not going to be that guy that's for the Raiders that the Raiders necessarily quote unquote need to have on their team right now. I believe he could go somewhere where a team is needing that playmaker for key moments, and he could help organization get to the chip, right? So I think that he will do great. I think he's going to find his home where he wants. I would like for him to stay with the Raiders. I don't necessarily think that that's happening now. So, what do you say, man? So I just think for him, do what's best for him now. And as selfish as that sounds, that's life. That's a part of the life. That's a part of the game of football. It's a team sport, but then sometimes you have to look for yourself and where it's going because he only gets to play this game so long. This isn't like regular people's jobs where they're there for 20, 30 years. NFL careers are so short, and in that time span, you want to maximize as much as you can. And I 100% agree with that. Him requesting trade, I don't think it has anything primarily to do with the tweet. A lot of this stuff could be smoke and mirrors too, man. I think that a lot of people are looking at this the wrong way and just thinking it all happened now. Like I said, I don't think he's unhappy. I just think he recognizes the situation at hand and say, hey, look, man, get compensation for me. I want to go somewhere where they're trying to build, where they're ready to win right now. And that's fine. So with that being said, man, you guys tell me what you think. All right. Is it selfish for Davante to do this? Is this something that he is um going to be ridiculed about? What team do you think he'll go to? A lot of that's to be said later on down the line, but I don't know, man. It's a tough days for the Raiders, especially after coming off a big win at the Death Star, and then kind of coming into this week. It's bringing it down. It's bringing it down a little bit because the players are trying to get prepared for their Week 5 matchup, divisional matchup with the Broncos, and you're kind of dealing with this. So, if I had anything to say about that, I just hope that the rest of the Raiders are able to kind of stay focused, locked in, knowing what the task is at hand and keep moving forward. So, yeah, man, with that being said, hey, man, I'm going to get up out of here. Didn't want to hold you guys too long. Like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right. Let me give me your opinion. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen from this? All right. Other than that, man, hey, look, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn your post notifications on. I drop videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. All right. If you are already a subscriber, I appreciate you for subscribing. Give me a like, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, give me a like. Let me know what you think about this upcoming issue with Davante Adams. Tell me where you think he might go. Right? So, all in all, I think we'll be fine. We're going to move forward. We're going to keep rocking. You know what it is, baby. It's all day, the day, Raiders. All right. So with that being said, talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.